Welcome back. Thank you for your company this morning on Studio 10. Well, no Australian woman has sold more novels than Di Morrissey. Di is one of the most successful authors Australia has ever produced, and with her 26th novel out today, fortunately, our love affair with her forensically researched stories is in no danger of ending anytime soon. Please welcome back to Studio 10 the fabulous Di Morrissey. So good to see you. Welcome back, Studio 10. Thank you so much for joining us again. Now, you've published 26 books in 27 years. How are you this disciplined?
I'm very disciplined. I was a journalist, you know, deadlines, all of that. I never missed a deadline. I just missed one year when my mum was very ill. But, yeah, but I do other things as well.
That's extraordinary.
I have a life. I garden. I publish a newspaper. I'm doing all kinds of things.
So, but you 26 books. Like, how do you do that? Do you have like regular routine?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to sound like I just kind of just dash them off, as one nasty media person said that, oh, she just sprays them on like hairspray on the paper.
Who said that? We'll get them.
Oh,
we
I'll
will.
give you the name later. But no, because I was a journalist, and you know, I know how to research. I go and live in the place and that I write about. I'm at my desk because of all those years of early rising. I'm at my desk at sort of 6 o'clock, and the housework's done and all of that, and I sit there till 6 o'clock at night.
Wow. And that's...
I mean, I have breaks, but I mean, I say 7 days a week until life interrupts.
7 days
every day. Well, and I mean, you know, the kids come and visit, or I go places, but I mean, my work day is basically, 7 days a week for 7 months.
Oh, for 7 months. I was going to say 7 months for a book.
Yeah.
But what about the ideas? Where do the ideas come from?
They all come out of a place, and I thought it was time we told Australian stories back there in 91, and my first
you
book
were
came
one
out.
of the first to actually do that, focus
That's
on
right.
Australian stories.
Yeah, I thought it was time because, you know, we'd had Australian stories in the 50s and the 60s, but then we all got a bit impressed with, you know, overseas writers. And people want to read, Australians want to read our stories, our history, the Vegemite on the table. And so with Good Morning Australia, I used to travel around Australia a lot, and I kept thinking, I've got to come back here like Broome and write a story one day. And so one morning, I got up and thought, I'm going to be 40 in 2 years and I still haven't written a book, and if I don't try, I'll never know. So I walked out of television, said goodbye to my mate, and off I went.
Well, we
I
worked
rented a shack in Byron Bay.
So you worked together in 81, was
through
it?
to...
For 8 years.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
It was
all those
amazing.
we shared.
And Di was so kind to me because, you know, I'd come in a little time after you guys, and I was so terrified. But the very fact that you always had that book in you as a journalist, but the very fact you actually pushed everything aside and backed yourself. It wasn't as if somebody came to you, threw a great bucket of money at you and said, you know, here's an advance. There was none of that. You had to back yourself.
Yes, well, when it's something I've wanted to do since I was 7, and I naively assumed that everybody made up stories. So that's what I figured I would do.
Was your first book just picked up like that?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Wow.
I actually
No rejection letters?
I wrote it as a television, because I was working in television, I wrote it as a TV outline.
Okay, right.
And it was before Crocodile Dundee. I thought, you know, it's time to tell our stories. And Pam Macmillan and James Fraser read it and said, turn it into a novel. So then I had to sort of sit down and put my money where my mouth was. I talked about, I'm going to write books one day.
Di, tell us about your new book, because I love it that you love to share Australian stories. It's important we know our history and share them.
Well, they're all set in particular places in Australia, where I think Broome is still... Broome tourism owes me heaps. Now Tasmania hopefully will too. The new book's set in Tasmania, and it's turned out to be flavour of the month, but it's also to do with the environment and the old growth forests, and our future lies in places like Tasmania, and we've got to stop land clearing in Queensland.
Because you're very passionate about the environment.
Yes,
That's part
yes,
of
I
the
am.
themes in
Yeah.
your book as
so
well.
it's a theme, but I mean, the book is there to entertain, but along the way, if you happen to learn something, and that's sort of why people like to go to the places I write about. So there's often history or politics or science or all kinds of things worked in with a great story. It's about two young women, childhood friends, who go on a road trip around Tasmania. And I kept thinking, I've got to take Kerry on this trip. I've got to do this. And then I thought, no, she'll sing all the time in the car.
It's interesting you mentioned Broome. We went to Broome for the first time this year. It is a beautiful place in this world. You cannot recapture it unless you see it in real life, can you?
No. Well, I'm actually trying to turn Tears of the Moon into a television drama series.
Are you?
I'm working with David Jousey, who made Mystery Road.
Wow.
So no one else has done it, so I thought, as you and I know, do it yourself.
Good on you.
Absolutely.
And this is fantastic. Arcadia by Di Morrissey is on sale from today. We love you, Di. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Lovely to
Lovely
be back at Channel 10.
Great.
Now, I understand we're going to head to some more...